Hello everybody, welcome. Hi Claire, hi Dapper, hi Kino, hi Smitty, I know you're there somewhere, and welcome everyone. I hope the introduction was not too heavy. I was just trying to experiment and find out if I can do certain things. So give me a thumbs up in the live chat if you can hear me. So that'll be great. Please, everybody. I'll wait. Oh, we have Keon. Hi, Keon. How you doing? Hi, Peter. Oh, wow. Everybody's popping in now. Thank you. Really, really appreciate this. So, I hoped I wouldn't have to do this segment again, but looks like people are very eager to supply me with material to do that. And I have to do it. I just can't. Like, I feel like now there will be many instances in future where I will come up with the phrase, hypocrisy, thy name is, you know, whoever it is. And so today's again, it's nobody, me, calling out a big shot YouTuber and just exposing the hypocrisy, the double standards that they have, or the thing they can get away with. Today's topic or the subject of discussion is Nate the lawyer, formerly known as Nate Brody on internet and YouTube. Quite a big YouTuber compared to me. 100 times bigger, not if I'm not wrong, sorry, 1,000 times bigger if I'm not wrong. And yeah, just kind of very irritated. I've seen him in the past misuse his outreach. He has harassed people, he has weaponized victims, he has re-victimized victims, he has used them to attack others without their permission, and he is relentless. He doesn't stop, and he twists people's words, he takes them out of context. I will show you now how he does that. He speaks for people without their permission, and he puts a spotlight on them in front of his audiences. And it's very funny, his behavior on his YouTube is very, very different from what it is on Twitter. If you would like further evidence, if you would like to see further evidence of that, it's on Cheshire's channel. She has covered Nate the lawyer, aka Nate Brody, in one of her Dumb Fekk Fridays. Very insightful. And someone from the live chat, Dargesh890, says, Nate's channel is proof that size certainly isn't everything. It is how you use it. Precisely. I agree with that. And Nate does not use his channel's size for any good. It's just there for views. He makes views. He doesn't do any, and he puts targets on people's back, especially certain other people who are smaller than him in size. He misuses his outreach. Smitty, Nate is maliciously dishonest. It's not mere bias and stupidity. Yes, he is. He is biased, maliciously, viciously, on purpose. He does that again and again. He tries to rile people up to get a reaction from them, and when he gets the reaction, he does not like it. And I'll just demonstrate that today. So, if you see on my screen, I have one of his latest tweets up. If I scroll down, the tweet, this is my time zone, sorry, I live in the future, so if you think there's a 24-hour difference when you saw this tweet and what's on there, and the timestamp, it's because I am quite ahead. I live in New Zealand, that's why. So this was 1:41 p.m. October 2021. And so he has put a screenshot of Katie Joy Paulson in legal proceedings, My Truth. That's a GoFundMe that has been started by Stephen McRae. He is asking people to support him to sue Katie Joy Paulson. That's whole another scenario. You should go onto Cheshire's channel. She has covered the whole past history between Stephen McRae and Katie Joy Paulson. That's another one of the bigger YouTubers, Katie Joy Paulson, who has misused her outreach, and she has put targets on people's back. That's why Stephen McRae is suing her for defamation. And so Nate the lawyer, he brings up this, he posts this tweet, and he says, with 3 fraudulent fundraisers busted, here they go again. Another fundraiser with a special catch-all. All funding will go to legal costs, transportation, filings, mailings, or any other use I deem require. He can spend it on anything. 20,000. Number one, he very conveniently does not put the description from the GoFundMe in the tweet, so you don't know what was there. Because recently there was an error with Steve's link for the GoFundMe, and it was not visible for some time due to the according to Steve, he said that it was due to some problems with the tagline or the main headline of the GoFundMe. So he had to change the wording to put it back up. So Nate the lawyer, he does not conveniently put in the description of what Steve has put is requesting the funding for. If you would note that, that's a point to note. I'll expand more on that point. He does that on purpose again and again so that he can fill in the blanks with whatever he wants. Over here, he's saying with 3 fraudulent fundraisers busted, here they go again. How, if the fundraisers were fraudulent, I would ask, why didn't he go to the authorities? Was he trying to cover for them? And we know for one of the fundraisers, he got the confession from the perpetrator under duress. We know that. I have a copy of that video. If anyone wants that, I can provide that. And in most of them, I think so, in the third one, the final one, in which Steve was actually, he might have been, here and there, supporting the person. It was for cancer. The person was asking funds for cancer, and Steve might have, tweeted support here and there. And it turned out they didn't have cancer, and they refunded all the money. So I don't know where the fraud is. The money's back to the donors. I got my money back from all the channels that I donated through, YouTube, GoFundMe, etc., all the channels. So I don't understand. And to bring it up again and again, obfuscating the fact that it wasn't Steve who started that GoFundMe, it was someone else. And Steve is also a victim in all these 3 GoFundMes. And all the other people who were supporting, the people who needed the money. And one of them is not, if I may say, one of them, in my opinion, is not even a fraud, because the person was able to get out of a dire situation that they were in. And that's what we were planning to target with that. And one of the fundraisers was for our friend who passed away, to make sure that their service animal was transported safely to the remaining family. And Smitty from the live chat, confession under duress. No, a crooked cop like Nate would never abuse someone for profit like that. He did. And so here he has not presented the description of the GoFundMe, and quite conveniently fills in the blanks to make it look like as if the other person's intention is to commit fraud. So he's already, and how many, if I may check, how many followers does he have? He has nearly 5,200 followers. So on Twitter, in front of 5,200 followers, here's the pinned tweet where he has done that. He is constantly targeting a smaller YouTuber. Sounds someone who's very, very insecure. Even though this person has a very large following, I think so he's gone over 100,000, and for some reason they're targeting a smaller YouTuber. And if they were so much concerned that these fundraisers are fraudulent, they would have gone to the authorities, but by the looks of it, they haven't. So they're targeting Stephen McRae. So if I go on to the, oh, look, what do I have? I have the description of Steve's fundraiser. And now, let me adjust that bit and show you. So Steve has changed the title. It now says legal proceedings against YouTuber My Truth, instead of the one that Nate is showing. So that's not even the latest screenshot of the GoFundMe. Peter Harrington, why did Nate make such a good cop? Cause it helps if you think and act like a criminal, just saying. of course. Dabra Dino from the live chat, is Steve's fundraiser still down? No, it's not. I can post the link for you guys. Here we go. Please donate to Steve, because I have been told not to. Steve does not want me to spend money the second time for him to support him. I would love to. I'll try when I can, but here's the link in the live chat. Clear as Bear from the live chat. Because he's so honorable, Smitty, I can't not snicker hard enough at the idea of that oxymoron. We'll see. We'll see. So here's the description. Let me see if it goes. So yeah, at the bottom it says all funding will go to legal costs, transportation, filings, mailing, or any other use I deem required to obtain justice and fair compensation. So that's what the whole sentence is. What Steve thinks is appropriate to obtain justice and fair compensation. Other ways to donate via PayPal, etc., etc., etc. So that's very different. Or any other use I deem required. Not giving the full sentence, taking it out of context, and then adding on to that your own fill in the blanks of fantasies and novels, and say he can spend it on anything. That's freaking dishonest, according to me. I don't know what the live chat thinks about this. Smitty from the live chat. Oreo Unicornist, did you and Cheshire threaten or docs to get them to allow that fundraiser back up with the stamp of approval on it? Oh god, Smitty, you're very funny. So it started with this, and Shesh was like, since you like to take people out of context, you like to add your own stories and your own interpretation, and that to not charitable interpretation to other people's, statements, Shesh posted this. So this is Nate with Nate the lawyer, Nate Brody, with EmilyDBaker. I think so. This live stream is still that's still on his channel, and he explains here that he was a former cop. He was a former cop, and he had some tricks up his sleeve, and he was very, it was very surreal for him now as a lawyer to see, people being turned in for crimes that he used to turn people in before. So I'll test run it, so just let me know if you can hear it, and after that, if yes, then that's fine. If no, then I will try and fix it. I'm still learning how to use the soundboard on the OBS. Before that, Dapper Dino from the live chat, all GoFundMes can basically be used for anything. Steve is promising to use it only for things related to the case, but since there's no way to know in advance, everything might be. He's leaving it open-ended. That's more than he has to do, although there's no way to hold him to it. Smitty from the live chat, there are only two truths in this world. Nate is a liar and man is here as a gift from heaven. So coming back to Dapper Dino's statement, that's true. Steve has said that he will try and spend money as much as he can to obtain justice and fair compensation. But not everything is set in life. There are many variables and dynamics in one's life, and especially when you're seeking justice, that can come into play. Nate, being a lawyer, should know that. But he on purpose, he denies Steve that charity and that room and for flexibility with funds. For some reason, Steve does not deserve that flexibility. Knowing that, people's circumstances can change when they are pursuing justice for themselves. That is not only, if I may say, in my personal opinion, that's not only like, what's that word, if I may say, frivolous, uncaring, vicious, And what other words can I use? It's very uncaring and vicious of a lawyer to do that. Someone who claims to be part of their community and work for their community. And again, using his numbers and his big platform to target Steve like that. Someone who's pursuing justice. And somehow dragging Steve into fundraisers where he wasn't even involved. He was on the fringe of these fundraisers, implying that Steve is somehow responsible for those fundraisers when Steve never started those fundraisers, never promoted them, might have supported the person here and there, showed their support due to the circumstances, and one of them was for our friend who passed away. And never went to authorities, but he has decided to become the judge and the jury and the sentence executioner on the internet. Funny what numbers can do to someone's attitude when they grow so big. Steve is not even 1/3. He's smaller than 1/3 of what Nate is. It sounds like Nate's very insecure for some reason. That he has to relentlessly attack Steve. So, I'll play this clip. Just let me know if you can hear it. If not, then I'll try and see if I can manipulate the soundboard and make it play it for you so you can hear it. Here we go.
The one bad thing about being first in law enforcement, then becoming an ADA, is that I wasn't like all the other new ADAs that are coming out of school. Right. Because I had all, and now most of the people who are making the arrests, bringing suspects to us, I knew those guys. So like, oh my God, yeah, you got another one? What's up? And then I knew all the BS too. I'm like, come on, you didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what, I was doing all that shit too. The one bad thing about being first in law enforcement, then becoming an ADA, is that I wasn't like all the other new ADAs that are coming out of school. Right. Because I had all, and now most of the people who are making the arrests, bringing suspects to us, I knew those guys. So I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you got another one? What's up? And then I knew all the BS too. I'm like, come on, you didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what, I was doing all that shit too. The one.
Could you hear that? Thumbs up in the live chat if you could hear that. Okay. I'll play it for you again, the part that I'm most interested in, that Chesh put out, that really did not surprise me. It did not surprise me that Nate said that, and he confessed to that. Here we go, I'll play it for you again.
Those guys. So I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you got another one? What's up? And then I knew all the BS too. I'm like, come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what, I was doing all that shit too. And then I knew all the BS too. I'm like, come on, you didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what, I was doing all that shit too. All the BS too. I'm like, come on, you didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what, I was doing all that shit too.
So, I knew all those tricks. Come on, you didn't find that thing in the back pocket. I knew all those tricks because I was doing them too. I was doing that shit too. Quote to quote. So, Nate confessed to being a former dirty cop. I don't know why EmilyDBaker did not realize what he confessed to in that moment. And from there we see Nate ensue on a tantrum. So Nate goes and he attacks Chesh, obviously because it's not about what he confessed to. It's about going for ad hominem on someone who brought this to light, isn't it? Question their character, so obviously my confession won't matter anymore. Maybe, does he think that's how it works in the court of law? I don't think that even matters in the court of law. That's your own verbal confession. And and people might say, oh, he might have meant something else. I'll add on to that later. And why Nate the lawyer, or Nate Brody, is the subject of my tagline today. Hypocrisy, thy name is. So he attacks Shesh, who brought that clip forward, where Nate was confessing that he knew all the tricks of being a dirty cop because he did that shit too. So he attacks Shesh. This is another YouTuber, a very small YouTuber. Smaller than Steve. And Nate attacks her character instead of addressing the video where he confessed. So he goes, when a YouTuber says in their opinion that you should be able to abort children up to 3 years old, does the person have any credibility? This is not abortion, it is called murder. Now over here, I will demonstrate again how he takes people's sentences out of context, out of the whole context, clips them out, and presents them as if they were something else when they were not. So let's listen to what Shesh was saying in that live stream. I was there, I heard her, and I agreed with her. So here we go.
My opinion is a little bit extreme, and I'm not about to argue for it. I don't think this is necessarily what we should do, but I think there's a decent argument to be made, and it's my opinion that you should be able to abort up to about 3 years old. You should be able to end that child's life for multiple reasons. Obviously not because, oh, I just don't want to be a parent anymore. That would obviously be not the case. But in the case of, like, oh, something has happened and this child is no longer going to have a viable life, you should be able to euthanize that child. Because, like, I dropped it. And this child is no longer meant.
I hope that was audible. I'm just going to open the door to my little one here. So, again, anyone watching that clip will realize that Shesh, in the first instance, used the wrong word, and then she corrects herself and she says, end the child's life, and then she again clarifies about euthanasia. And yes, euthanasia does exist for children under a certain age. It's not a new topic, it's not a controversial topic, but for Nate, for some reason, again, taking words, clipping them out of context, not giving the person the charity, and putting target on a smaller YouTuber. In order to put dust on his own confession that, oh yeah, I confessed to being a dirty cop. Attack the messenger, isn't it? What does Shesh's stance on euthanasia for children under certain age or around certain age has to do with him being a dirty cop and confessing to being a dirty cop? Nothing. But again, this is Nate and his double standards. That's why we say, hypocrisy, thy name is Nate the lawyer. He attacks smaller YouTubers, he puts a target on their back, he takes them out of context, clips their statements out of context, adds his own context, which is not charitable at all, which is vicious and malicious, trying to harm their reputations. I won't get into what he has been doing before his channel, exploded with subscribers. That's a story for a whole another day. But if you want to know more about this person, Nate the lawyer, you can go on Cheshire's channel and watch her Dumb Fact Friday, where she covers Nate the lawyer, where she again demonstrates how he takes people out of context, and he doesn't even know how to read basic court documents. He's so incompetent. That's why it makes I question how much experience does he have practicing law. According to me, he has none. And Shesh demonstrates that very easily in her Dumb Fact Friday. So if you want to check that out, you can do that. So, obviously, we're like, That's not what Shesh said. She just didn't say abort children up to 3 years. She clarified that and said euthanize children. And it's not like it's a new topic. It's not. As Intrigued Feline kindly pointed out to Nate, it is called euthanasia. As per usual, you are leaving out the complete context. Oh, surprise. This is my shocked face. Nate, the lawyer, taking people out of context? No. Oh, Smitty. Oh, wow. That's a very good perspective. Smitty from the live chat. If your baby is living in 24/7 agony, you gotta wait till it's old enough to vote before it can choose to die. How horrible is that? So Dapper Dino from the live chat says, the position expressed there is basically Peter Singer's position, but much less radical. I don't know Peter Singer, I'm afraid. I might look into them later. Thanks, Dapper. And continuing with Intrigued Feline's tweet, Nate, it is called euthanasia. As per usual, you're leaving out the complete context. Here's the full video context, Nate. The bit you don't want to show because you only post in clips rather than the original source material. So she posts the YouTube link with the timestamp. They posted the YouTube link with the timestamp. So the actual live stream, not a clip out of that. It's funny that Nate expects to be taken seriously when he does that, but when someone does that to him, putting in context, like his whole conversation in there, where he's confessing himself to being a dirty cop, he just goes on a tantrum, and this is what he comes up with. I think so. He's getting weak in his game, weak and flimsy, maybe because he doesn't have a game, but he does have an audience, and that's what terrifies me actually. The reach he has. He has 5,200 followers on Twitter, and I don't know how many on YouTube, if I may. Cancel, I'm not subscribing, sorry. So, he has 126k subscribers on YouTube. If his followers come and see what he is up to, putting targets on people's back like this, do you think I would never follow someone like this who misuses their platform at such a massive level? Targeting smaller YouTubers for reasons don't know why. My personal reasoning is maybe he is insecure. That his success doesn't feel real to him for some reason. Or maybe because he's not a practicing lawyer. He hasn't practiced so much to be known as an experienced lawyer to give. So he feels like his opinion might be flimsy, or he's not an expert subject, contributor. So Dapper Dino from the live chat says, the Peter Singer is a moral philosopher who supports elective killing of one's children until basically like 4 years old for basically any reason. Okay, so Shesh is talking about euthanasia, which is assisted legal killing, and she clarified in that clip, oh, it's not because I can't be a parent or I dropped the child or something like that. She's talking about proper consideration for the child's welfare, whether they're leading a healthy healthy life. In some cases, maybe even how much independent they are. Will they be able to survive without their parents' care? So, coming back to Intrigued Feline's tweet, she posts the screenshot, and here we go.
Reasons. Obviously not because, I just don't want to be a parent anymore. That would obviously be not the case. But in the case of something has happened and this child is no longer going to have a viable life, you should be able to euthanize that child. Because I dropped it. And this child is no longer medically viable for some kind of reasonable reason.
So she says some sort of reasonable reason. Or the child is not medically viable. So take her out of context, put a target on her back. Great. So coming back, Intrigued Feline, and she clarifies further, sorry, they, I don't know whether they're she or he. Intrigued Feline, Goblin Kishesh has made it very clear under which circumstances she made the argument for. It is her opinion. So that's another big difference. Shesh expressed an opinion. Nate confessed to harming people. He confessed that he did that shit. So we don't know how many innocent people ended up behind the bars just for that man's ego. Or because he was collaborating in organized crime somewhere. We don't know that. But, of course, have to attack Shesh because attacking the messenger will obviously weaken the argument somehow. Will weaken his own confession or will add more context to his own confession. I don't know. So, it's just a hypothetical. Shesh is not in the corridors of lawmaking, making a law like that. But, oh, what is this? Sources? To back Shesh's stance? Oh my god. So Intrigued Feline posts 1, 2, 3, 4 links from good news channels. One is newsscientist.com article. And they're saying in at least 2 European countries, this is apparently a legal thing that can be done. It's obviously not everyone would agree to it. That's fine. But to try and demonize someone and put a target on their back for expressing an opinion. Hypocrisy, thy name is Nate. When they're actually confessing to being a dirty cop themselves. Why am I playing with this? So let's look at the links. The first link, oh, it's taking its time. Netherlands backs euthanasia for terminally ill children under 12. Under 12! Terminally ill children. 14th October 2020. So this is in detail. I will post all these links in my description for everyone to access. So there's one Netherlands. Another one, this is Washington Post. Children are being euthanized in Belgium. In 2014, that country, Belgium, amended its law on euthanasia, already one of the most permissive in the world, authorizing doctors to terminate the life of a child at any age who makes the request. At any age who makes the request. Of course, they further try and put forward some arguments. You can read that. You can read this article. Very interesting. Let me see if I can adjust that. The whole thing is not coming in. Sorry. So yeah, here we go. So, why is this advertisement? Go away. So there are countries out there who support euthanasia for children. And there are people who discuss this topic about the morality of it or the immoral morality of it. It's a good topic to discuss. So instead of Nate trying to, I don't know why he expected everyone to just take it for granted that he confessed to being a dirty cop and planning evidence, and then he went on and tried to put a target on Cheshire Vick's back. I don't know why he did that. So you can have a debate on this topic. Why is Nate trying to demonize someone for expressing an opinion around euthanasia for children? taking them out of context. He actually did himself a favor by putting the whole clip in, because Shesh clarifies she's talking about euthanasia for children. She accidentally used the wrong word, but Nate wants her to be put on fire for using the wrong word accidentally. So why I brought in all this, it's to add a whole context to later what happened later after Shesh put out that clip of Nate confessing to knowing all that shit because he was doing all that shit when he was a cop. And so someone retweeted and quoted Chesh and asked the question, I generally don't know how he has his platform in the online spaces that he does. Former cop admits to planting evidence on people to get them on drug charges, faces no backlash or repercussions for his actions. So this person might have misheard Nate, and they wrote planting evidence on people to get them on drug charges. I don't know. Here, look at me, I'm giving charity to this person. But the fact remains, Nate confessed to planting evidence. That's what he did. For what charges? I don't know. He doesn't allude to that. I think so he was trying to boast about his experience on both sides, and he accidentally confessed. So someone else actually tags Nate the lawyer and EmilyDBaker and asked them the question, do you have any comment or defense of this? I'm kind of disgusted. Black Lives Matter, NYC PD, dirty cops, #dirty cops. EmilyDBaker responds, I have not rewatched this stream for context, but I will. From this clip, it seems we were talking about our work experiences, and Nate was saying he would question things based on his experience working as an officer and as a DA. Very diplomatic answer. Very diplomatic answer. Satisfied the person who asked the question, and this person highlights the fact, thank you for the clarification with opinion. Emily, I appreciate that. I wish Nate himself would have said that, but I had a long back and forth with him here, which ended in him calling me a troll, but he never justified his actions the way you did or others have. So this person apparently asked, let's see if I can. So that's a long thread. Oh my lord. Oh. So this same person who had tagged Emily quoted this original person, the original tweeter, and is replying to Nate and asking him, so this whole thing, Nate is again putting target on Stephen McRae's back. He's already claiming, oh, get ready for the 40K fundraiser soon. I would say, Nate, if Steve is successful with his lawsuit against Katie Joy, you might be the next person for making these false accusations. I'm just saying. So this person quotes the tweet and asks Nate, do you have anything to say about this? And Nate tries to gaslight them by saying, yes, this was a great stream. I hope more people watch it. So avoiding to answer the question, did you confess to being a dirty cop? And this person reiterates, in the stream with EmilyDBaker, you appear to admit to planting false evidence on suspects, taking them to court and potentially violating their human rights. I thought that was obvious, but that's what I was asking for clarification or comment on. Keon Ori from the live stream. Ooh, Nate sycophants. Don't you ever dare question Nate. So Nate replies to Jasmine, planting false evidence? This is the next accusation, huh? Well, no, I was explaining that my experience allowed me to understand when people cut corners because I worked in that field. Planting false evidence is not cutting corners, mate. That's not cutting corners. Continuing with Nate's tweet, it allowed me to challenge others who did it and prevent it. I suggest watch it. I think so. He forgot everyone. So the person comes back again. Also, the people making the arrests now bringing suspects to us. I knew those guys, so I know the BS too. Like, come on, you didn't find that thing in that guy's pocket. Why are you bullshitting me, you know? Cause you know I know all the tricks, cause I was doing all that shit too. So these are quote to quote Nate's own words from that clip. And they're Nate here trying to deflect and trying to gaslight someone questioning him. So desperate. So they continue, Jasmine continues, this is the direct quote from the video. If you could link me the original, I would happily like clarification on the context to me, because to me, by your own words, I'm not accusing you. It sounds like you said, I know they planted drugs because I did the same thing. If I'm wrong, why? Evidence, not drugs, my bad. So she corrects herself immediately. Wow. Look at that. Nate comes back and says, this just seems to be a misunderstanding. I've never seen any LEO plant evidence, nor have I. I have seen many cut corners to make cases easier. Again, that's not what you claimed in that screenshot. You said bullshit. You didn't find that in his pocket. I knew all that shit because I did that. I knew all that because I did that shit too. Dapper Dinos from the live chat. Look, Nate could have misspoken, but what his words mean is that he planted evidence. Exactly. And he's not saying that he misspoke, because there's no running from it. Cutting corners and planting evidence are two very different things, mate. You didn't say cutting corners. You said, you don't bullshit me, you didn't find it in his pocket. That's very different from cutting corners. Please do not insult your fellow honest cops who were doing their job properly. Even while cutting corners some here and there. Smitty from the live chat, he said he planted stuff in people's pockets. He said that, exactly, he did. So he's adding context here, his own context to the words. And he's gaslighting Jasmine at the same time. This has just seemed to be a misunderstanding. I have never seen any LEO plant evidence, nor have I. I have seen many cut corners to make cases easier. What? Are you saying that people plant evidence to make their case easier? How many miscarriages of justice have you contributed towards, Nate? How many? If you thought that planting evidence is cutting corners, I really hope people watching this live stream will take that clip wherever Nate has been the investigating officer or collecting evidence in any capacity and go to the courts and say, this is a mistrial. I have been accused falsely of this. This is not justice. This is serious miscarriage of justice. So he wants to, again, he's still gaslighting. This is not what he said. He did not say cutting corners. He said this is what I was conveying in that late night stream. How I was able to recognize this early as an ADA because of my experience. That's not what you said. So people should believe what you are saying when you provide your own context later when you're questioned about it. But it's okay for you to clip other people's statements out of context, add your own narrative to it, and just run with it. That's why today's stream is titled Hypocrisy, Thy Name is Nate the Lawyer, aka Nate Brody. And Smitty from the live chat is quite right. We need the police to not consider arrest charges and convictions as a personal victory. Like Smitty continues, like they're going for some high score. Exactly. So Jasmine comes back and says, so would I be right to say that based on your clarification, and correct me if I'm wrong, she's asking for correction. Oh, wow. You did not plant evidence, but you did fabricate or misrepresented existing evidence to secure a conviction from the court, and so would your colleagues? Because what else does it mean? Okay, you didn't plant the evidence. You didn't find that in his pocket. That means it was supposed to be somewhere else? So you went from accusing me to planting drugs to planting evidence. She corrected herself, mate. She said evidence, not drugs. My bad. She corrected herself, and you're taking her out of context again, on purpose. She didn't go from, she misspoke, and she corrected herself. She didn't even delete the original tweet. Why I'm saying it's there is she, because it's Jasmine. Jasmine is a female name. So you went from accusing me to planting drugs to planting evidence, now misrepresenting evidence. No. She's saying, but did you fabricate or misrepresent existing evidence to secure a conviction from the court? And so would your colleagues would also do that. She's asking you, and she's asking you to correct her if she's wrong. I'm sorry to tell you, sometimes cops overstate the facts. What? Or how do you overstate a fact? I would love to know that. Shia J, sorry, I'm so sorry. Shia J, he didn't say plant anything. Lol. He said, bullshit, you didn't find that in his pocket. Shia, he said that. I knew that because I knew those tricks because I was doing all that shit too. Do you want me to repeat that for you, Shia? I can repeat that for you. Here we go. There we go. Let me play it for you. Somewhere here, isn't it? Yeah. Here we go.
What's up? And then I knew all the BS too. I'm like, come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. Pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. Now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. Now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. Now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that. Come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. Come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too.
Does that, yeah, like Keon said from the live chat, clear as water. So, going back to that conversation, Nate comes back and says, so you went from accusing me to planting drugs to planting evidence, now misrepresenting evidence. I'm sorry to tell you, sometimes cops overstate the facts, and as ADAs, you investigate and not just take the cop's word for it. I've been on both sides of the process. So he's accusing cops of overstating the facts. What? What is wrong with this person? Sometimes cops overstate the facts and ADAs investigate. What? Like, I don't know. How do you overstate a fact? I don't know. So he's accusing his fellow cops of not doing their job properly. Is that what he's saying? What? So, Jasmine comes back and they say, 1, didn't accuse you of planting drugs. I asked you if you were admitting to planting evidence and provided your direct quote. 2, I'm not accusing you of misrepresenting evidence. I asked you if that was what you were saying because that's how I understood your tweet. She asked for correction if needed from Nate. And then she goes, 3, sometimes cops overstate the facts. Oh my god. We're on the same frequency here. I have been on both sides. Is this you admitting to overstating facts to secure a verdict? 4, what is overstate or overstating if not misrepresentative? Exactly. Oh my god. Shia J, why didn't Emily hear it? I would think she would call that out, but she didn't because it's out of context. I have a theory behind that, Shia. You know, that was the week where she was called out for faulting a victim. from the black community. So Nate was her stepping stool to get that acceptance from that black community. That was the week where she was called out, if I'm not wrong, for blaming someone for being at the wrong place at the wrong time and getting shot by the police who barged into a house. I think so. They swatted a house, if I'm not wrong. Hi, Mr. Serious. So she needed Nate that week so that the black community didn't come after her. That's my personal opinion. You can go and ask her why didn't she call it out. Okay, I'll be very charitable. I'll keep my personal opinions aside. Maybe she heard it, but she didn't process it. It's possible, because it's so out of the world admission that people just go like, did he really say that? Nah. So Smitty's from the live chat is saying, so she went from defending corrupt cops to letting a current cop slide. Possibly. Smitty again from the live chat, lateral moves at best. Yikes. Yeah. So either she was so surprised that she didn't process it because it was a big admission, or she needed Nate that week because she was being called out by the black community for her stance on a particular swatting that took place in the black community where a woman ended up dead. Just saying. So that's what my exact question was. What is overstate or overstating the facts, if not misrepresentative? Nate comes back. 1, you linked me to a thread where I was being accused of planting drugs and asked me to respond. No, she did not. She asked you questions. Here we go. Where she clarified in the end, evidence not drugs. She's asking you a question. You tried to first deflect her, and then she quoted you, and then you tried to deflect her again from answering, and when she pressed further, you went off on her and started accusing her. I believed your misrepresentation of the clip was not intentional but seeking information. I clarified my position and explained what I meant. I hope this explains it later. So, Nate, let me ask the question. So people should give you charity and allow your context to what you add as a context to stand. But you are allowed to clip people out of context and put targets on their backs. Why should we give you the same charity and same extension? You don't deserve that. After how many times you have attacked Stephen McRae and now you have targeted Cheshire? That's what today's title is. Hypocrisy. Thy name is Nate the Lawyer. And nobody calls out a big shot YouTuber. Yeah, I'm just a 140 subscriber channel calling out like 120k subscriber YouTuber about their hypocrisy, their double standards, and their expectations. It seems like Nate likes to get away with stuff, and he thinks because of his numbers he should be able to get away with he should be able to get away with whatever he wants to say. I don't know. I'll cover Emily later, but I'll call out EmilyDBaker too over here. I'll give her a little charity and say that maybe she was just taken aback and she was like, what the hell did he just say? Outdone from the live chat say, hi Outdone, thanks for joining us. Why does Nate deserve charity anyway when he takes people out of context all the time? Exactly, that's what the stream is about. He expects, over here in this whole thread, Twitter thread, he expects people to take him for the context he adds. At the same time, while he's deflecting, gaslighting, and accusing them of being dishonest. So he wants to have his cake, eat it too, and fart it out too. So Nate goes later. Of course, that's what a strategy is always. Run away. When people double down and they don't take his deflection as his answers. Tarnish9025 from the live stream. Oh my god, the thumbnail for this stream is awesome. Also, hello. Hi, Tarnish925. I will give Smitty the kudos for the thumbnail. And Keon Ori from the live chat. In other words, getting the out of jail card for every situation. Yeah, that's what he does. He did that same to me when he made false claims against Steve. And I said, I simply quoted his tweet and asked him, show don't tell, and he blocked me. Maybe I'll go to that tweet later in the end, maybe. So Jasmine comes back and say, but I still did not accuse you of planting drugs. She did not. You can't blame me for someone else's comments. That's right. You can't blame her for what someone else said. Or are you saying that we should blame you for being associated with Agrippa and all those trolls that have been harassing and gang stalking Steve for a year? If you want that, we can do that. You're part of that gang stalking group and the group of harassers. Smitty from the live chat said, Shesh made that Paul Blart thumbnail. I had the idea though. So, okay. So the credit goes to Shesh and Smitty. Smitty for the idea, Shesh for the art and her resources. Thank you. Mr. Sirius from the live chat. Right, he has to add context to it because there's no context in that entire stream that would help in that clip. Exactly. That's what that was. So Jasmine is like, I did not accuse you of planting drugs. You can't blame me for someone else's comments. I haven't misrepresented the clip, or you have failed to show me how I have misrepresented it, which is true. We have seen that. But it was indeed for clarification. I'm still confused, not much clarity, actually. So Nate comes back. You asked me to respond to this thread. If you wanted me to answer a different question, then you should have asked it and not direct me to that source. Oh my god. The tantrum. There are major misrepresentations here. Now to claim ignorance is disingenuous and very transparent. Here are your own words. Do you have to say anything about this? So she's quoting someone and she's asking you about it. She's not taking responsibility for their accusation. You simply had to say that's not true. Instead you tried deflecting her, hoping that she didn't watch that clip. Was it because you were thinking she didn't watch that clip or what? And it's not her making the accusation. She's not making the accusation. She said you appear to admit. You took it as an accusation. Is this your guilty conscience, mate? What's going on here? Are we guilty conscience? Aww. So Jasmine is like, Nate, after you commented on the thread, I clarified what exactly I was asking for clarification on because I understand that was my poor communication. You then started to respond to my further questions, so this doesn't make sense. Where is the misrepresentation? Sorry, you got to be a better troll game. So she tagged him. Do you have any comment or defense of this? I'm kind of disgusted. She can be disgusted by your words, mate. And she can still question you. That can be two very different things. And she's genuinely saying, I'm not trolling. I was genuinely disgusted by it. And so I asked you for clarification. She wants to give you charity, you moron. You nincompoop. Sorry, excuse of a homo sapien. She was giving you charity there. And you attacked her. For nothing. Or is it because you're scared that this will now go around and will expose your own dirty cop history? And she's again saying, I'm very confused. She's still not accusing him. She's saying, I'm still confused by your reaction. But I understand your attempt to call me a troll as a way to discredit me. Of course, he ad-homed Shesh. What about this poor thing? Fair enough, seems like a dirty trick. We know that's what Nate has. He likes to listen to his voice all the time when he's talking, and when people call him out, he resorts to dirty tricks, like he tried to do with Shesh and then with Jasmine here. Tarnish 925 from the live stream. Well, the execution of the group effort equal to Chef's kiss. Mwah. Yeah, that thumbnail was. So, when someone has judged you as a dirty cop, then says they never accused you of anything, it's pretty easy to expose. Either you are a troll or just very forgetful. She says, and she comes back and says, I have judged you based on your own words in that stream as a dirty cop and possibly a dirty lawyer. Ooh, that burn. Ooh. My judgment might be wrong, and it isn't an accusation, so I do not accuse you of much, and thus only ask you questions to clear this up for myself to know if I should support you. And they continue with the discussion here. Okay, cool. I'll go with that. Here we go. So we are back at the original thread, at the original tweet, and he doesn't even give her the courtesy of typing her name correct. It's Jasmine. You idiot, nincompoop. You maudlin, dyspeptic nincompoop. Sorry excuse for a homo sapien. Get her name right at least. Jamie was attempting to troll me. It was a failure. Really. I beg to differ. Showing more replies here. Jasmine comes back and says, who's Jamie? I link the thread above so everybody can read the context of the tweets, not your one simple screenshot from an hour-long discussion. They can look for themselves. I'm not a troll, but nice attempt to discrediting my opinions or concerns with an ad hominem. Oh, how we are not surprised. But that was good. She linked the entire conversation. Why? Maybe because, you know, there's more to this and this. Her name's Jasmine, Nate. Get people's names right. Far out. So, my one and only question. Nate, do you expect people to let you slide on your own words? But you put target on people's back. Take their words out of context. You're an inexperienced lawyer. You were a former dirty cop by your own admission. And you add home and you call people trolls and then you run away. Hypocrisy. Thy name is Nate the Lawyer, aka Nate Brody. He has done that a lot in the past. He's done that to Stephen McRae a lot in the past for some reason. I do not know. He has given a lot of charity to Kyle Curtis, who stole the channel from Stephen McRae, the Non Sequitur show. All because he wanted to put a target on Steve, misrepresenting him. If I bring it up further, it says, all funding will go to legal costs, transportations, filings, mailings, and or any other use I deem required to obtain justice and fair compensations. So, I'll just leave this clip on before I go off. How long have you been live now? If I may? Yeah, 1 hour. 1 hour, 7 minutes. Yeah, I think so. This is a good time to put a stop to this. So, share this live stream. Ask people, is this really befitting someone who has a 100K channel, who bullies and twist words of YouTubers who are much smaller than him and put targets on their backs? Kionori from the live chat, the troll wars. I think so. Nate is one of the biggest trolls. And I think so people like Nate think that people can't can't hold him responsible for his behavior on Twitter. He's continuing with the tantrum. If you go and watch his Twitter homepage, he continues. He's pinned this tweet here, putting a target on Steve, who was not involved in these fundraisers at all. Steve didn't start those fundraisers. He didn't promote those fundraisers. He might have actually helped on some of those. He might have supported Ilya, but Ilya lied to everyone. I'm a victim of Ilya. She lied to me too. So Steve is actually a victim in these two fundraisers here, because he trusted his friends. And one of these fundraisers here, we had a lot of room to be flexible with the finances, and the community was fine with that. These people like Nate the lawyer, who get subscribers over 100k, and they start thinking that they are the judge, jury, and the executioner on the internet, and they start putting targets on people's back. Nate, no, Steve is not obliged to show you the lawsuit. Let's just say, again, you're not the judge on the internet to decide what Steve needs to show you or not show you. Maybe if you had asked him nicely, he might have. He sent, I think so, he wants to send a copy to EmilyDBaker, if I'm not wrong. I don't know, maybe not. But it's up to Steve what strategy he follows in his lawsuit. And it's up to people if they want to donate money, even though they haven't seen the lawsuit. Cheshire has covered that. Cheshire will cover that in the future, if I'm not wrong. She'll cover that. But Steve's blog is kind of a window into that lawsuit. People should read that. I'll link that also in the description below. So this was 2 hours ago, according to my time. They also say the lawsuit is a sure thing, and when they win, they'll give you your money back. Of course, Steve said that. So he's justifying all those costs. He's telling us why it might cost that money. So, what's your issue, Nate? I don't understand. Are you so insecure about yourself that you have to go and attack smaller YouTubers and become the judge and the jury and the executioner? Steve does not owe you anything. You're not donating to this lawsuit, so what's your problem? People can choose to donate if they want to. They can ask Steve for a copy of the lawsuit if they want to. What's your problem? Steve has already spent $8,000 from his own personal funds. He's actually going in negative at the moment. Mr. Serious from the live chat, he can't take responsibility for the things he has done. He never does. He causes all this damage to people, puts targets on them, and he never takes responsibility. Two hours ago. Who the fuck are you to be suspicious? A fucking nobody lawyer who's not experienced, who doesn't have any, and whose competency is very questionable, knowing the fact that you graduated how many years ago? A year and a half ago, if I'm not wrong, by your own admission. So, I don't know how competent you are to question someone else. He's so insecure that he has put that in his description. Oh my god, is it in his description? Oh my god. Oh my god. He's put it in his description on Twitter. Oh. We know the gist, Dapper Dino from the live chat. Did Steve say when I win? I think he said if I win, but I honestly don't remember. Because at the moment, the focus in to get the funds in to help him out. And we are charitable to the interpretation. I don't think so that most of the people who are donating to Steve even care if he gives us the money back. Because they believe in Steve. Keonori from the live chat. If he didn't donate money, he can't bitch about it. Well, he can question it if he wants to, but his questioning is not genuine. He's already declaring it a fraud. I don't know what he was talking about fake email here. Now it's changed to fake email. What the hell is going on here? Oh, that Leslie Bass shit. Keonori from the live chat. Nate the lawyer. All this tantrum because he thought he could get away with targeting Steve. And someone said, if you want to talk about taking people's word for it, let's talk about you, Nate. I'll leave this clip up. And I'll leave it here. I think so we're done. We have exhausted this topic. Fair enough. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'll put all the necessary links that I've shared today in the description below, and I'll share Steve's GoFundMe also. Let me see if I can put it for one more time in the live chat. See if I can pin it. Can I pin it? Yeah, I can pin it. Hey. So that's done. That's cool. Okay, so I'll leave you with this. Hypocrisy. Thy name is Nate the lawyer. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
I'm like, come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why the BS too? I'm like, come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. That guy pocket. Why you bullshitting? You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. The BS too. I'm like, come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. The one bad thing about being like, come on. You didn't find that thing in that guy pocket. Why you bullshitting me? You know what I'm saying? Because now I know all the tricks. Because you know what? I was doing all that shit too. The one